Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Polished Gems collection from Lights Lacquer. Lights Lacquer is Kathleen Lights here on YouTube's brand of polishes. This is their winter collection. I guess it's technically winter 2019 is when it came out, but I feel like winter, it spills over into the next year. Whatever, I'm a little late. So 6 polishes all together. I will link the website down below where you guys can check these out, and I'll get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Citrine, and this is a darker gold shimmer. So this one is pretty sheer on the first coat. I think it would look pretty good as a topper, maybe. I think it would look pretty good as a topper over a dark color like a black. I'll try that. But on its own, it's definitely going to take a few coats to build up. And there are some brush strokes in that shimmer when it's wet. So this one is still sheer on the second coat. I can see quite a bit of my nail line. It's actually not showing up nearly as much on camera. It's pretty obvious in person, and my nails are fairly short right now as well. The brush strokes that were in here did seem to disappear after it dried. That'll be easier to tell for sure once the color gets built up a little bit more. Good formula on this one, and that first coat did look like it dried slightly dull. And as I'm swatching this, as it's getting a little bit more opaque, I'm catching little flashes. I think you can see them on my ring finger there. Little flashes of a very slight glitter in there as well. There's not enough of it to add really any texture to the polish. You can just barely see them catching the light when you move your nails. So this one does build up a bit better in that third coat. I can still see a bit of my nail line. It's fairly minor, but my nails are also very short, so if you have longer nails or a whiter nail line, it's going to stand out more. And I know I mentioned that there is a very slight glitter in there, not enough to affect how the polish removes it all, so you won't have to do any scrubbing to get the color off. So that is 3 coats of Citrine on its own, and then I wanted to stick this in here. That is 1 coat of Citrine over 1 coat of black. The next polish is called Smokey Quartz, and this is a creamy dark gray base with an orange shimmer. So this one is very opaque on the first coat. It does have a much more opaque, like creamier base that shimmer is mixed into. There are still some light spots. It's not a 1-coater. But the shimmer is standing out pretty nicely, and good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and this does dry a little bit dull, so you will want top coat, and that's going to help bring that shimmer back out after it's dry. You do lose a little bit of it when it dries dull. So that is 2 coats of Smokey Quartz. The next polish is called Alexandrite, and this is a kind of plum jelly base with a blue shimmer to it. So this one is also pretty sheer on that first coat. It's definitely going to take a few to build up. It does look fairly even right now though, which is good. Much thicker coat on this nail, and good formula on this one as well. So this one does start to build up on the second coat, but it is still pretty sheer. Actually, again, it looks way better on camera. So I will end up doing a third here. And that blue shimmer stands out much more as the color deepens. So this one does build up pretty well on that third coat. I'm looking really closely at it, and I don't see any nail line or uneven spots sticking out. And this one actually dries pretty shiny as well. So that is 3 coats of Alexandrite. So the next polish is Amethyst, and this is a, let's say, like the darker side of medium purple holographic. So this one is pretty nicely opaque on that first coat. The holographic in here is a little bit more on the scattered side. It's not as scattered as other polishes that I've seen, but it's not in that really tight rainbow arc that like a very linear holographic would have. I can still see a little bit of my nail underneath this, so it will need 2 coats, and good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and that second coat does deepen the color. This does dry dull, so you will want top coat to add that shine back, and then once you have the top coat on and it's shiny again, the holographic will stand out a little bit better than it will when it's dried down to its natural finish. There is a little bit of glitter or something in here. I had just a very, very slight texture to that first coat once it was dried. It wasn't like every single little holographic particle was textured. It was just a few little random pieces of texture. So you will want top coat to smooth that out as well. So that is 2 coats of Amethyst. The next polish is called Ruby, and this is a dark kind of burgundy base with these pink/red, depending on what lighting you're looking at them in, little glass fleck flakes. So this polish is slightly sheer on that first coat. It's not terrible, but it is a bit lighter than it should be. You can see some of those little glass fleck, shredded, flaky, whatever you want to call them, glitters in there, but they are pretty subtle and good formula on this one. So this one does build up in 2 coats. You can see it gets much darker. Those little flakes actually stand out better after the second coat, which I kind of didn't expect. I thought that once the polish got more opaque, they'd be harder to pick out, but I think they stand out a little bit better because there's more contrast now between them and the base color. They're still pretty subtle, but as you move your fingers, you can kind of catch them in the light. You will want top coat for this. There's going to be a little bit of texture from those glitters, and you might have some difficulty removing them as well because they are thicker. They're not like a really fine flaky. They're more of like a glitter thickness, so they'll probably stick to the nail a bit as well. So that is 2 coats of Ruby. And the last polish is Emerald, and this is a deep, almost teal-ish cream. So this one is very opaque on that first coat. It's almost a 1-coater. It's not quite there for me. And good formula on this one. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And while I always recommend top coat, it does dry pretty shiny on its own. So that is 2 coats of Emerald. So I think Amethyst is going to be my favorite. It is a holographic, which is definitely contributing to my choice, but I think it stood out the best out of all the other colors too. I really didn't love the other colors in this collection. None of them were particularly bad, but they just, not something that I would pick up and wear, if that makes sense. But Amethyst I would definitely pick up and wear. It's really, really pretty holographic. It's a really nice shade of purple, so that one is definitely my favorite. So that is the Polished Gems collection from Lights Lacquer for winter 2019, maybe 2020. Again, I will link the website down below where you guys can check those out. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.